Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Liverpool get referee verdict after Virgil van Dijk appeal and Bournemouth's last-minute winner. Second news is Mark Guehi opens up on how close he came to £35M Liverpool transfer. Shut my mouth. Third news is Liverpool notebook. Adam Wharton latest as forward set for move, and another changes agent. Dermot Gallagher claims that Michael Salisbury was right to allow Amin Adli's last-minute winner for Bournemouth against Liverpool to stand, despite on-field appeals from Virgil van Dijk. The Reds travelled to the Vitality Stadium, with hopes of securing all 3 points on Saturday evening. However, Arne Slot and his squad were left to make the long trip back to Merseyside empty-handed, after suffering a cruel 3-2 loss on the south coast. Evanilson opened the scoring for the Cherries 26 minutes into the game, before Alex Jimenez doubled the hosts' lead moments later, while Van Dijk ate into the deficit on the stroke of half-time, with a lopping header off the back of Dominic Szoboszlai's pinpoint corner. An uphill battle remained in the second period. Szoboszlai drew level with 10 minutes of normal time left to play with a well-worked free-kick, before Liverpool pushed on for a winner. Fate had other plans at the Vitality, however, with Adli scoring with the last kick of the game to ensure Liverpool left with nothing. James Hill launched a long throw into the Reds' area in the game's dying embers, with Marco Senesi scrambling to get on the end of it. The ball then bundled to Adli at the near post, as he placed it with precision past a floundering Alisson, before wheeling away in celebration. Van Dijk was spotted appealing the goal in the aftermath, however, seen speaking to Salisbury with a stern look painting his face. While replays of the incident seem to show Van Dijk being nudged by Adli in the process, retired referee Gallagher claims that the only foul he saw on the centre-half came from Curtis Jones, who was battling Adli from behind. Speaking on Sky Sports, Gallagher said, "Van Dijk was fouled by his own player. He is definitely fouled but by Curtis Jones. The referee was correct to allow the goal to stand." Bothroyd meanwhile added, "Even if Van Dijk was nudged by the Bournemouth player, he has got to be stronger. He is clutching at straws." It comes as Van Dijk explained his thought process to the media at full time, feeling hard done by through Salisbury's decision. He said, "What I felt on that pitch was that I was clearly blocked, but obviously the ref and then the VAR don't give it. That's something we then have to accept." Elsewhere, the Liverpool captain also shared his disappointment with the clash. He added, "Very disappointed. Last minute of the game, very tough to take. But like you said, we worked very hard second half especially to get back in the game, and obviously at times we were open as well, obviously on the counter because we're trying to push for the winner. To concede that late is very disappointing." As a result of the loss, Liverpool sits 6th in the Premier League standings. Up next for the team is a Champions League match with Qarabag on Wednesday evening, before they play host to Newcastle United on Saturday afternoon. Second news is Mark Guehi opens up on how close he came to £35M Liverpool transfer. Shut my mouth. Mark Guehi says his proposed move to Liverpool was pretty much done, before the £35M transfer was called off by former club Crystal Palace on September 1, and the former Reds target, who joined Manchester City earlier this month, admits he had to shut his mouth about the nature of the collapse out of respect for Palace, who he left for £20M. Guehi was undertaking a medical ahead of a transfer deadline move to Merseyside, and was in an MRI machine when he learned that Palace had pulled the plug on the deal at the time. Liverpool had hoped to take Guehi to Anfield later this year as a free agent, but City swooped this month, and with the centre-half on reported wages of £300,000 a week after a hefty signing-on fee, the Reds decided the finances involved were too exorbitant to rival Pep Guardiola's side. And speaking after he featured in the 2-0 win over Wolves on Saturday, City man Guehi has explained how close he came to joining Liverpool and how he felt it was best to handle the disappointment of seeing the deal break down. "It was very close," Guehi said. "Very close. The medical was pretty much done and then it got pulled at the last minute. My mindset is what will be will be. It would be doing Palace a disservice if I was acting a certain way because the club's given me everything. The least I can do is show up to work every single day, shut my mouth and keep my head down. I think that's the most important thing." England defender added, "It's not just been a mad couple of weeks, I'd say a couple of years. It feels like it's been going on forever. I'm just glad that I got to move over the line. Obviously, it's not easy leaving a club that I've been at for so long. They've done so much for me and I'm eternally grateful to them. But I'm just really glad I can be here. I'm glad that I've joined this fantastic football club. We've been talking for quite a while and obviously talked with different clubs. Like I said, I felt from conversations, through talking with some of the players here, that this was the place for me to improve, to get better, and just to help as much as possible." Third news is Liverpool notebook. Adam Wharton latest as forward set for move, and another changes agent. A Premier League weekend of unwanted results means Arne Slot's Liverpool have now dropped out of the top 4 and into 6th, after seeing a 13-game unbeaten sequence ended by Bournemouth, with the last kick of the game on Saturday evening. Chelsea and Manchester United compounded the misery with victories of their own on Sunday. It means the Reds welcome Newcastle United to Anfield next Saturday night for a game that has taken on even more importance as the race for the Champions League places hots up. Before that, and Wednesday night's Champions League visit from Azerbaijan side Karabag, however, the Echo brings you all the latest off-diary news and tidbits as the notebook makes a return. Claims of an agreement with Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton have been dismissed by Liverpool, who are not currently pursuing a move for the England international. A report on social media that suggested Wharton had agreed a 5-year contract with the Reds has been shot down, with it understood that the former Blackburn Rovers man is not currently an active target for the Premier League champions. Wharton has become a key member of a Palace squad that won the FA Cup last season, but Liverpool feel they are well stocked in the midfield area at present and not working on a deal to sign the 21-year-old. Lewis Coomers set for Hull City move. Lewis Coomers has had his loan spell with Birmingham City cut short and is closing in on a short-term move to Hull City. The Wales international is keen to get more game time between now and the end of the campaign, with the Dragons set for a one-legged World Cup playoff with Bosnia and Herzegovina in March. Should Wales win that, they will meet either Italy or Northern Ireland for a place at this summer's World Cup across the United States, Canada and Mexico, and Coomers is determined to be involved. Liverpool feel Hull's reputation of nurturing young attacking talents like Jadon Philogene, Joe Gelhardt and Liam Delap means Coomers will be taken good care of at the MKM Stadium. Fabio Carvalho's successful period in the second half of the 2023-24 term has also been taken into consideration to decide Coomers' next destination. His Birmingham exit was confirmed on Monday afternoon by the Championship side. With Birmingham active in the market this month, it's understood that both Liverpool and Coomers felt there were better opportunities for the 20-year-old to showcase his ability in the Championship for the remainder of the term. Talks are now ongoing and at an advanced stage ahead of a likely move to Hull before the end of the January transfer window. Kyle Kelly attracting interest. Liverpool under-21 midfielder Kyle Kelly is attracting interest from clubs in England and Europe as he enters the final few months of his contract at the Kirkby Academy. Kelly, who has impressed in recent weeks for the young Reds, is out of contract at the end of the campaign with no new deal looking likely at this stage. The St Kitts and Nevis international is wanted by a handful of clubs as the versatile midfielder awaits confirmation of Liverpool's plans over his current terms. Calvin Ramsey to stay put. Calvin Ramsey is now almost certain to remain for the rest of the season at Liverpool. The right-back has only made one appearance for the Reds this term, which came in the Carabao Cup defeat to Crystal Palace earlier this season, but with Connor Bradley out for the season and Joe Gomez going off injured in Saturday's 3-2 loss to Bournemouth, the options are stretched at right-back. Interest from the Championship had been anticipated, but Liverpool's dwindling defensive numbers, which led to the call to keep Andy Robertson after Tottenham Hotspur talks, means Ramsey will be required to now stay put. Liverpool are expected to be open to loan offers in the summer, though new agent for Kyril Figueroa Academy striker Kyril Figueroa has new representation after the Liverpool forward signed with P&P Sports Management. Figueroa, who scored in Sunday's 2-1 win over Leeds United at the Academy, is now represented by Federico Pastorello, who also looks after the affairs of former Reds midfielder Arthur Melo. We are thrilled to welcome another standout prospect to our roster in Kyril Figueroa, they announced on social media on Sunday. Born in 2006, Kyril is a highly promising centre-forward, currently developing in the youth ranks at Liverpool and representing the USA national team at youth international level.